Second try today getting the video to go up. Yeah, it's Cockatoos with Attitude live stream. Yep. And it's August 22nd of 2022. And we have Pippa. We also have some technical difficulties, so don't be shocked if things stop working. We have Cecil, who is preening who are you preening? Preening Lucy right now. And Babaloo. And Peaches. And if you're having trouble recognizing these birds, we will be releasing a video to help you with that soon, with lots of cute pictures of birds. And hello, Amy. I didn't think I was ever going to get here today. I got the problem solved, I thought, and then I ended up with more, so. Yes, this is new that Lucy's finally allowing someone to preen her. And she's let Bob preen her once now, too, so she lets Cecil preen her. Pippa? No, not so much to preening. We got Snowball in here, too, today. Here's our favorite wine, better known as Sugarbird, and Mander. He already yanked on Jasmine's tail today. Of course, he doesn't like tails, so he will yank on anyone's tail, human or not. And there's the hiding bird up there, is the Jasmine. To Jasmine, that's her favorite, one of her favorites is that, and on the swing there, so looks like she's hiding, but she just likes to sit up there. And Bob's playing with a stick. I think George Carlin said that all kids should go out and play with sticks, so maybe he's thinking about George. What do you think? Nah, probably not, huh, Bob? Probably not. Never knew him. Saw him on the TV, though. I'm sure he did. See him on the TV at times. We're in the aviary, so I do not have an iPad, so I can't see anything anyone writes if it's on the screen for maybe 5 seconds and then it disappears. So just so you know. Hello. Peaches seems to be doing fairly well considering. She's now getting her mash turned into a slush that she gets through a syringe, and that's helping her keep her weight up. I mean, she's still eating on her own, but she's also getting that. So she gets, after her daily bath, she gets about 40 milliliters of food that way. I say about because not all of it stays in. You know? I hear you up there, Sugar. It's kind of hard to pet you. Kind of hard to pet you. I have Cecil right here looking at me. Hey, Cecil. Hey, boy. How you doing? That's a good boy. Yeah. Cecil is, he's hanging out up here, aren't you? He was whacking me with a toy earlier, but. Hi, Falcon Sue. I have to keep looking over at the screen. It's hard to do when you got a whole bunch of birds surrounding you, but. Right? Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I had problems earlier this morning. I always check on the day that we're going to be doing the video. I check to see what the internet speed is, and the upload was was horrible. It was kilobytes instead of megabytes. So I got on the phone with the ISP, and they fixed that, and then they realized we're getting what we're paying for, so they're sending a tech out tomorrow to see if they can improve it even more. We'll see. It's not like we're on fiber. We'll see. Yeah, I'm surprised we're having problems with video. For a while there, I was getting just disconnected, so thanks, Amy, for letting me know. I expect it to stutter right now. Lucky, and it might stop, but by tomorrow they should have all those problems solved, I'm hoping. So we're certainly paying enough where we shouldn't have a stuttering video. So many birds. You got a few in here. There's a lot looking in. Jasmine's chewing on a corn husk there. Hi, Aaron. Glad I got into workplace. What's going on? Cecil, and there's Des. Yeah, that can happen. Hi, Eleanor. Well, I'm surprised we're getting anything because it started out with no upload speed. And the tech at the ISP, well, I've never seen this before. I said in 30, I've never seen it. So, and download was okay. I'm going to be releasing a new video. It won't come to YouTube for a while, except for members. It's going to go to patrons and then members. And I have to put it up in one place and then convert it and send it over to another, that kind of thing. So, but if you're having trouble memorizing any of the birds, this should help because it's a video that has a little blurb on each bird. The ones that I have recordings of, their voices are in it. And maybe all that will help you recognize them. They're beautiful pictures anyway. If it gets terribly bad, the stuttering, let me know. I'll try to clean it up some more. I have a few tricks I can run from the phone. And Cecil has a trick he can run with his beak, and he's getting ready to use a pine cone to beat me up. So be prepared for that. Are you going to beat me up? You going to beat me up with a pine cone? Is that why I threw another pine cone in here? So you could... Yeah, he's got to get it just right before he starts hitting me with it. Sugar. You nut. You nut. Oh, now Cecil's climbing down on me with the pine cone, so... Sorry, Sugar. What are you doing? Yeah, he hasn't... Oh, I guess he finally got it where he's got a good grip on it. Yeah, if the stuttering gets too bad, let me know. I will go disappear for a second and tell it to do a speed test, and that seems to help. I could also reboot the router, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea. We definitely would lose the stream when I did that. Well, Sugar, I don't know what to tell you, Shug. I have Cecil sitting on my arm and a camera in the other hand. But I love you. I do. I love you, Sugar Bird. I know. Pet me, pet me. I know. Oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Amy, for letting me know it's all right now. Now, he is preparing to beat me up. You gonna beat me up with that? Well, if you tear the end off of it, it's hard to hold on to. Well, he's got a good grip on it, so here it comes. Yeah, Peaches has been doing pretty well. She seems to like getting the syringe feedings, and it's just easier for her to go, to do her droppings if she gets a little more liquid. I shouldn't say a lot. She gets a little more liquid that way, and it's easier to digest. Yeah, she still eats though. I mean, she hits both of her food bowls, all three of them actually. She eats her blueberries, and then she eats the muffin, the birdie bread that I make, and then she goes after her mash, and then she eats her things out of her pellet bowl, which there's a couple of treats in there. Mainly she goes for the pellets, though. And the video stopped, and that's one. Actually, when I was up to break those two up, so Jasmine got too close to Snowball, and then I had to use my extension arm. That's a shower rod on there. I separated them with a shower rod, so comes in handy. But she gets too close, and she bumps into other birds, and they don't care about it. So they don't care that she doesn't understand that she shouldn't be violating their territory. When she does that, they try to chase her away, and then she screams, don't you? But you don't get hurt. They aren't really trying to hurt you. They just want you out of their territory. What do you want, big girl? Pet the beak? Bob, get out of my back, my side pack there, which has got the battery in it. You're just dying to get in there, I know. Yeah. When she got next to Snowball up there, and that's when we lost our video, I have a shower rod, and I took the shower rod and put it up there, and as soon as all I did was like move it between them, and then Snowball just flew away. So you don't actually have to do anything but put it there because they're not used to seeing it. So they just, once they see it, they get away from it. Are you done? You done instigating things now? Are you done causing problems? You can't get that close to Snowball. I think she was trying to get preened, but he doesn't really understand about that. Would you leave my shoes alone, Cecil? Cecil, those are my shoes, not yours. Stop. Cecil. No. Here, step up. Step up. Come on. Take the elevator. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Come on. That's an example of using ABA where he was going after my shoes, so I just made the shoe more of a transport vehicle for him, something that he could climb on and get up, and then convinced him that getting up here was the thing to do by raising my leg. So, and then a little bit of vocal coercion as well. Yep, we have someone from, I'm repeating myself, but we have someone from the ISP coming by tomorrow, so. Hi, Barbara Buckman. I don't know what you guys think you see, but they're both looking the same way. And what are you doing up there, Sal? Salamander? What are you doing? He's in bombardier position now. If he gets over me, sometimes he doesn't have good control of his bowels because he has a twisted pelvis. So yeah, when he goes, he doesn't have any real timer there. He can't move quickly to get away. Most of them will avoid doing their droppings on you, but for him, that's difficult. And when they took the X-ray, they were going to take an X-ray to see what was up with him, and it ended up being 8 X-rays because he has an unbelievably twisted pelvis. So just on one side, but it makes it look like he has a back issue when actually it's his pelvis, not his spine. His spine is twisted because of his pelvis. So. Oh, you're welcome, Tammy. I'm glad I got to see that. By the way, I'm saying this again. I don't see everyone's messages because if I'm looking away from the screen, I won't see them. This doesn't. Unfortunately, I can't have an iPod in here with Babaloo out. When I have just the girls, I could get away with it. But Bob, stop that. He will destroy it. So. A Babaloo? Yes, you are the big destroyer. He was, I can't believe they rehomed him with a guy who ran a business, right? And the guy leaves Bob in the office for an hour by himself. Well, of course, Bob took all the keys off all the keyboards. He ripped open all the printers. And then the guy brings the bird back to the place where he was at and said that they tried to say everything about him being not a good bird, and he was told that you don't leave birds like this alone. That's all they said to him. But you really have to understand these guys to work with them. You can get lucky. Some people I know have had them for years and don't have a clue. They just somehow have not either caused them to die from Teflon poisoning or carpet fresh or some other thing like that, and they've managed not to encourage them to do behaviors that aren't natural, like biting and screaming. But as my dad used to say, and it kind of fits here, if you have two cars, and they're the only cars in the United States, and one's leaving from New York to go to California, and one's leaving from California to go to New York, they will hit each other somewhere in the Midwest. So it's just that the improbable happens. Come here, step up, come on up, good boy. See, that gets him to stop chewing at my shoes. And he's doing that because he was defending the footrest I was using, which is really just a ladder. It's just a little step ladder, but he was getting in there and defending it, making it territory. So that's why he's going after my shoes, because my shoes are right there where he could see them from his nest. I have taken that out now because it was getting where he was trying to defend the whole aviary, so had to take it out. No choice. But if you know what you're doing, yeah, it's difficult to. I'll give you some advice on when you have two birds that don't care for each other, what you can do. The number one thing you could do, to be honest, would be to take Animal Training 101. And I'm not affiliated with Dr. Zelig's, but if you take Animal Training 101 online, you will learn all the methods to deal with it. And if you pick up a copy of the Manual of Parrot Behavior by Lucier, which is not a cheap book, by the way, and it's you can find a lot of solutions in there which are based on science. But the best way to get birds used to each other is, if you're just talking the basic methods without knowing the individuals involved, is to set up a situation where you have two perches as close to each other as, let's see, if you get the two perches close to each other, and one bird on each one, and you have to have the perches close enough where you can work with the two, but not where they start showing any aggression. Okay, and then move it just a little farther than you think is necessary. Move it a little bit further apart, and then give them treats. Go over to one, give them a treat. Go over to the other, give them a treat, and go back and forth like that. Putting a little time between, maybe. Oh yeah, Zelig's is great. What you're trying to do here is get them to both be in situations that they find positive, and with the other bird close. And then what you do over time, you want to move them a little bit closer, just closer. Don't, and have them side by side. This may take a month. It may take 3 weeks. It may take a week. You never know. It depends. If they've been going after each other for that time, it's going to take a little longer. But yes, surprises you. Then eventually you'll have them close to each other, and then what you can start doing is working on other forms of training. I wouldn't move the perches closer together. I would just do perches that you can work. Now you've got to be sure that you're comfortable with separating them. That's the problem. I imagine after a year you're comfortable with that. So I have to throw hands between birds all the time, where others be like worried about their hands. Can't worry about that because I can't have them hurting each other. They generally won't. They'll scare each other. It'll look really scary, and they won't each other, but you don't want it. Yeah, there is also a book, Training 101, but if you don't mind reading a college text that's at least sophomore level, that's great. The class online is your best bet because she is sharp. And as you just reminded me of it, I worked through this with Babalu and Pippa. Now they're the same species, and Babalu wanted her to be his special friend. It didn't work out. She wants nothing to do with him. They can sit next to each other now and rarely ever go after each other. It happens once in a while, but easily dealt with. So yeah, you can definitely make it happen. These two have not ever been friends, so but they get along now. Don't you, Pippa? Don't you, Pip? Pip, 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 pip. There are always issues one way or another between birds, even if they exhibit a great deal of interest in each other and they hang out with each other. They can sometimes get miscues. They'll misinterpret something that's going on, and when they do, they can react negatively, as in they may strike at the other bird. Most of the time, I'm not going to say all, most of the time, those are harmless. They're just pushing the other bird away. Bye off there, guy. So don't take that as gospel, though, because they can hurt each other, but it's rare, okay? So you want to break it as quickly as possible and then check to make sure nobody got hurt. But and if there's even a slight wound, you need to take them to the vet. Do first aid on it. Put a styptic or a super clot on it, and then get them to the vet just to be sure, because it might get an infection through the open wound. So, hi, Doris. Yeah, pretty much. I'm doing ABA all the time. You see me looking around with the camera. Well, I'm looking around in other directions that I can't point the camera easily too. Just to keep, Bob, just to keep an eye on what they're doing and what interactions they're having and what directions they're moving. So, for example, I was just watching Jasmine relocate. She got a little too close to Snowball, who got back on his other perch. She got a little too close to him, and then she walked away. She may have learned a lesson there. Did you learn something? Well, did you learn something? That is Sugar trying to get Cecil to preen her. And he does. He just doesn't seem interested right now. Jasmine's entering their territory, so we don't know exactly how that'll work out. So while I'm discussing anything, you'll see me, you know, you got to know I'm paying attention to what's going on in the interactions. Okay, Jasmine looks like she's going to get away from that situation, so I can take my focus off of that. Now, other issues that have been going on lately that I'm dealing with, one of them is Jasmine getting too close to Salamander, and then she chased him a couple of times. Now, he's not putting up with her, so she doesn't get close to him often. I'm working on trying to make them more compatible, and it will happen. It's just she pushed her boundaries a little bit. Yeah, I was talking with someone quite knowledgeable yesterday who's been doing the bird thing for a long time but hasn't taken classes in ABA. And hi, Zizi. And they didn't know. And now this is, I mean, you can't blame them, but if you haven't taken classes in ABA, and specifically if you haven't studied these guys, their biology, physiology, and behavior patterns, you might have dominance. The vet, you can be a vet, and they may know how to do birds, but they have no clue how to. Dr. Freed, it's sorry about the buffer. Somebody coming by from the ISP tomorrow to fix this problem. So, video stutters, I apologize. I had to focus the camera on Wolf for a little bit so that there'll be less buffer. Pest. Get in there, and in the battery pack, I charge the phone, the middle of behavior. Well, I did one of my little tricks to try to get our video back. Sometimes if you're having trouble with a router, if you simply ask for a speed test, it will get it to work again, because the speed test does a few other things. So, are we keeping you asleep, Jasmine? Hmm. And Peaches, are you having fun chewing that up? Hi, Peach. I love you, Peaches. I love you too. I love you too, Peaches. Bob, just sitting there is not going to get you the opportunity to chew on that. It's not. It's not. Yeah, that's true. Pippa could probably solve it. She's good friends with Steve Jobs' picture anyway, aren't you? What's up, Cecil? Hi, Eric. Yeah, you made it. We're having trouble with the actual live stream. I'm having trouble with our internet service provider, so I hope you can get it going for another half an hour here. Say hi, Eric. Say hi, Eric. Yeah, they did what they could to fix it over the internet, but they need a technician here to make sure our service is top notch, because we're paying for it. So not cheap. Thanks, Aaron. It usually is. Yeah, we pay for a gigabyte service, so we should be getting better than what we're getting here. Bob, get out of there. Could you think of something else you'd rather do? Is there something else you'd rather do than sit on my pants and try to eat the charger? Huh? No? You can't think of anything better to do, Bob? One of the other issues I discussed with this knowledgeable person, there's always things you learn, right? Yes, he does. Yeah, there's always things you learn from people. So I'm learning from the person I was talking to, and they're learning from me. But they had tried Haldol on a couple of their cockatoos, and they said it didn't work. And I asked if they tried going from like zero point zero 0.01 milliliter, just a tiny bit, and slowly raising it up, and they hadn't. So they're going to try that. And these are birds that are mutilators, so important to find a way to stop them from doing that, especially since they're in large flight cages. So they need to come up with something that will solve the situation. Hey, you, what you doing up there? Is that right? Pippa, is that right? It is? That's right? That's right? That's right. Okay. I wanted to be sure that was right. I'm not surprised. Why am I not surprised, Bob? Hmm? Cecil, that's cute. You're looking outside. Well, sure finally got him to do it. Prince. Now he's around her ear. That's why she's yawning. Yeah, the technical term is is the destructive behavior of feather picking. Barbering is when one bird rips the feathers or damages the feathers of another bird. Just remember, you don't go to the barber to watch them cut their own hair. So it seems to be all over the internet. I've heard vets doing it, actually calling feather destructive behavior barbering. Barbering is not when you cut your own hair. So feather picking. Yeah, there are different signals that cause them to do that, or I should say that evoke the behavior, but the behavior itself is because they miss steps in their development. Dr. Jenkins has that one right, I'm sure. They miss steps in their development because they're not raised by their parents. They don't live in a flock. And so they exhibit things like this feather destructive or mutilating behavior. There are signals in the outside world that may cue it to happen. They're basically outside cues that cause it to happen. And it's just unfortunately, it's a misuse of the word, and it's spread everywhere. And vets are not behaviorists in most cases, so they wouldn't know anyway the right term to use in behavior. Dr. Jenkins is a great vet, but he'll tell you right now he doesn't know the first thing about behavior because he hasn't taken that as as a minor to his major in veterinary science. So, hi, sugar. Yeah, just point out to the vet, and I'm sure they'll get a kick out of it. And you that when he goes to the barber, he doesn't he doesn't watch the barber cut his own hair. It's just I'm afraid that that's going to become a common term because no one's correcting anyone about it. And it's not that I'm a big nut on that. I just think we should use exact language when we're dealing with birds. Because I've had birds that were barbers. In fact, Cause isn't out here because Cause doesn't do well with this group right now. But she does with the group in the morning. But Cause and Simone, when Simone was here, they used to tear each other's feathers up. So, yeah, Dr. Nemitz, that's funny. Dr. Nemitz, he was, I had to quote him on something because I had a question tossed at me whether or not it was okay to take a bird and put them in a, and dump them in a cold pond. And the answer to that is no, it's not safe. Um, I agree with you, Aaron. Um, but with what they have to go through, I understand why they don't. Because you go through and become a vet, and then you have to take more classes and then another residency to work with birds. So it's not an easy thing. So I understand why they don't. I'm not blaming them about it. That's a lot of study, but maybe they could take the psychology stuff, the behavior stuff before they get into their veterinary track. That would be part of it, as part of fulfilling their general education. That would be good. And if they could put that in there and let it fill this one of the parts of their general education, that would be good. So, yeah. What are you doing there, kid? You're just wanting somebody to pet that beak or preen you? Is that all you want? Is that all you want? I'll give you some of that. I can't do it all the time. You have to find others to do it. You have to find others. What's the temperature in here? Bear with me as I move the camera funny. Okay. You can tell it's getting warm, but it's still not too hot for him, so. Yeah, and there aren't that many people. I was talking to Dr. Young about this. There are few people who are going to college now to become veterinarians who are either taking exotic or avian. Um, and he thinks it's because the outcomes aren't that great. That the students really don't want to be involved in something where you can't be relative. Yeah, sedation is not good with parrots in general, but when you talk about marine mammals, that's a real problem. So that's what Dr. Zellick's focus is on right now is marine mammals because they have to be operated on while they're wide awake. So, oh, she's where she needs to be. These guys too are if you don't have a great vet, if they have to go under any sedation for any lengthy time that isn't just by using that gas that they use, they have to have a nurse there who is an anesthesiologist as well. So, it's complicated. Just for Lorelei to be neutered, which she had to be because she was producing an egg a month, and it was just going on until they were getting the last one was thin. So. Yeah. That's right? Oh, I'm glad you agree. Pippa says that's right. That's right. That right, Pippa? Yeah, it's something to study. If just take a look at the respiratory system. With us, we have static air in our lungs. Okay, so we breathe in, and our lungs have old air in there. We just kind of keep filling about 20% with fresh air. They don't. They breathe in and breathe out. They breathe new air in and breathe the old air out. Broadcast today. Wednesday should be fine now. Be back Wednesday for another video, folks. We'll have this problem solved. So, yeah, it's amazing when you study how their lungs work. I wish they had models. Like they have some models of the human body, that kind of thing. But I've not seen any computer models of the parrots. And it's the way the lungs work is just amazing. And then their skin is not like ours. And people will put lotions on their birds without checking with the vet, and it can cause the skin to actually open and bleed. So you don't want to do that. Their skin is highly sensitive. You don't want to wash them with soap. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things you don't want to do, and there's good reasons why you don't. But the one about not, Dr. Nemitz I was quoting, because I had to find the quote, the most important quote, which is why you don't want a bird to have the temperature around them change quickly. And what he said is that they can handle almost any temperature if they get used to it. But that means days of getting used to it, okay, of slowly changing the situation. You should never, and you should never let their temperature go up by 15 degrees or down by 15 degrees in a shock, right? So throwing a bird into cold water, we don't do that. It was funny that it was Dr. Nemitz, though, because that's the one that took the lead out of her. She had swallowed lead, and he took it out of her digestive tract. So, and then when Pipple was coming to us, she had one titer, which is basically saying she has an antibody, okay, for chlamydia. So if she had chlamydia, then that would go up. So we had to wait 3 weeks and have her tested again. And she was, she had been exposed to it, but didn't have it. So, yep, she's such a good girl. If just she would like other humans. Yeah. Right, Pip? Is that right? That's right. Say that's right. That's right. That's right. How you doing, cutie pie? And this one came right over to me, boy. She's like, oh, it takes a lot for her to get used to new people. Plop right on my chest. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Well, you're such a sweet girl to me. Others should see how sweet you are. Yes, they should. This is a cute girl. This is a cute girl. Aren't you? That's right. Say that's right. Babaloo's quite a talker too, but he doesn't want to talk right now, do you? Can you say Babaloo? Can you do kisses? He does kisses. He actually makes kissing sounds and moves his beak like he's kissing. Of course, I don't touch his beak with my lips. We don't do that kind of kissing. But he does it. Don't you, Bob? And he says, what you doing? If you don't know what you're doing, if you're walking around like you're lost, he'll say, what you doing? Won't you? If you leave, he says, goodbye. Yeah, I like those too. I spent a little time making those icons. I think we have to have a certain number of membership before I can add and make more icons. I'm hoping we get there, but they limit how many icons you can have according to how many members you have, if I'm remembering that correctly. I haven't had to do that in a while, have I, Bob? Babaloo. The Babaloo? Can you see yourself, Bob? That's Babaloo. That's the Babaloo. He doesn't like looking at phones, so I'm getting him used to it little by little. Yeah, he's a good boy too. It's just most people when they see him, he tests people too much, and then they don't trust him. So, but he might nip you once, but he's not into nipping somebody 2 or 3 times. He likes to get that first nip in, though, don't you, Bob? Don't you, Bob? I like to say that Bob makes a good impression, but it takes a week or two. All right, Bob? And Jazz is still, this is relaxing time of day, so Jazz is sitting there half asleep. Yeah, they pick up things like that, and if you work with them, you can fix it. So that's all you got to do, Eric, is work, like I say. Yeah, with Bob, if you take him, he used to go to the Renaissance Fair with me. I let kids handle him. He's fine outside of his particular, territorial zone. But once he gets here, he's a little harder to deal with. He still wants to be everybody's friend, though. He does. Bob wants to be everybody's friend, don't he? Just don't know how. Easy, easy, guys. Yeah, the next video is, well, you recognize the birds. I'm hoping I spent a lot of time on it, so I'm hoping you will use it to learn what these birds look like and sound like. I have some from most of them. I didn't get Cecil, and I think one other. I don't have Jasmine's sound in there, but I do have most of the birds' sounds. You just run out of time. 14 hours is a long time to produce. Salamander, you're just gonna relax over there. With his twisted pelvis, he moves around, but he limits it, and then he gets a little. I think it just gets irritated after he's moved around a bunch, and he sits. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, that's the first step. To me, they don't look anything alike, and but that's after years of being around cockatoos. I can see a new one and instantly kind of remember them. It's kind of like when you meet somebody and you see their face for the first time. You notice the differences more than the similarities. What are you doing? What are you doing? And there are lots of differences. It's just that we're not trained to see that in anything other than our own species. I mean, dogs can't tell the difference between our faces. They're all the same to them. But these guys, they can definitely tell who you are. It's easy. You can work with them and do that quickly, but without the skills of ABA, it's kind of, in other words, reward training. That's just a subset of ABA. ABA is a lot more than reward training. And I can put it this way. I mean, you don't use positive punishment, which means adding something to reduce or extinguish a behavior. You don't use it often, but if you have a child that's running over to put his hand on a gas burner that's lit, you don't say, you don't use positive reinforcement to stop them, right? You pull them away and tell them no. And so you're actually stopping the behavior. You're adding a punishment. It's not a punishment. You're adding something, which is your interference in this case, and stopping them from doing something they want to do. That's how you deal with certain situations. The two birds are fighting. You separate them. Okay, you're not petting them and handing them a treat. But so in other words. There are a lot more skills that go with working with these guys, and you can pick them up from Dr. Zellick's course online. So cool, good, CZ. I don't recommend clickers if you've got certain birds like African grays, because you really don't want to hear a clicker all day long because they'll pick it right up. And any bird that can imitate sounds, clickers aren't your best bet. Just use good. I use two. There's more than one type of bridge. Okay, there's the intermediate bridge and then the final bridge. So an intermediate bridge would be good, good, good. You say good, that's what I do lightly. When they do something that I absolutely want, they've done the end behavior, then I say it quite loudly. I don't want to do that because they all know what that means in here, and they're going to be looking at me like, what did I do? But so the intermediate lets them know they're on the right track, and the final one lets them know, which is just about twice as loud, lets them know that they've done the right thing and they're about to get a reward, whether that's something to eat or something, or being petted, depending on the bird. You know, it all depends on the individual. Well, guys, thanks for being here. Our hour is up. I know the video has been stuttering quite a bit, but thank you for hanging in with us, and we'll see you next time. Think of questions you have, and by then we should have, I'm hoping, Wednesday to release Heart and Mind, which is a video that hasn't been released on to the public yet. I'm hoping to release that, and I might make that the premiere before we have our live video. So thanks, Amy, for helping, and Eleanor for being here to help with the chat. And come on, Pippa, say, that's right, it's time to go. That's right. Bye, Aaron. Like I say, I'm glad you got here, Eric. Bye, everybody.